Okay, story time. And it's a bit of a curveball today. This episode isn't recorded in a studio or with a fancy mic. It's me, Dawn, on my couch, on my phone, eyes puffy, heart heavy, and mind swirling. Because sometimes life hits hard. I can't even get through this, and your motivation goes missing. And I really want to talk about that today. If you've been feeling stuck, like your confidence is taking a hit, or you're drowning in overthinking instead of taking action, you're not alone. I recently started reading Lessons for Living by Phil Stutz. You might know him as Jonah Hill's therapist from that Netflix documentary. And it cracked something open in me today, clearly. So today I'm walking you through 3 powerful concepts from that book that are helping me find my footing again. Speed, why taking action fast, even if it flops, builds confidence. Density, how taking more action, not perfect action, moves you forward. And a nightly review, a simple 10-minute habit that helps build momentum. This episode is raw, it's real, and I hope it reminds you that even when you feel off track, you're not broken, you're human. So grab your cozy socks, get under your favorite blanket, and let's dive in. Hey there, you just stumbled into the Anxious Creative Podcast, where overthinking turns into ahas, mess ups become magic, and anxious spirals, totally part of the process. I'm Dawn Bradley, your messy, imperfect host, here to help you, the recovering people pleaser, the perfectionist, to stop chasing the unachievable and start embracing the chaos. Spoiler alert, that's where the real magic happens anyway. So buckle up, friend, because we're about to have some laugh so hard till you cry moments, a few hard truths to help you grow, and naturally, a little, or let's be honest, a lot, of oversharing. You ready? Let's dive in. Okay, so today's episode is going to be a little bit different, and it's coming to you raw and right from the couch on my phone. And I'm probably going to cry because I'm starting to cry right now. But I'm just going through it today as I record this. And I'm listening to a book called, oh my gosh, what is it called? Let me look it up here. It's called Lessons for Living, What Only Adversity Can Teach You by Phil Stutz. There is a documentary on Netflix called Stutz, and it's Jonah Hill's therapist, and it's really good. And so I was listening to it today, and man, you should just go listen to it and download it or grab the book form, whatever. But it was talking about how to take action and how to stop procrastination. And I wanted to share these 3 things with you. And now I feel like I've already shifted out of being emotional because I'm like, let's not get emotional on your podcast on. It's been a minute since I've been really raw on here. And honestly, I think it's out of fear and having gone through some pretty big things in the last couple of years of my life and wanting to shy away from showing too much rawness. So maybe I'll come back to this in this episode or not, but I want to talk to you right now about how to bust procrastination and take action quicker. And he goes through in the book these 3 things. 1, speed. And he says, once you decide on something, the less time that elapses, the better. And he goes on to say, a failed action done quickly will improve your confidence more than one done with great procrastination, even if it succeeds. How freaking wild is that? Like, I love this. So you've probably, if you've listened to this podcast ever before, I've had so many failures in my personal and professional life. And it's really it's easy to get scared of making the wrong decision, so you don't make decisions. And they're saying the proof is that the quicker you can take action once you decide something, even if it's failure, it will build your confidence more than if something you did with procrastination and you got a good result. How freaking wild is that? So the proof is that the quicker you take action, messy, immediate, imperfect action, you will gain confidence quicker than calculated, thoughtful, planned, and succeeded action. So he goes on to say, number 2 is density. The more actions you take in a time period than you normally do, the better. That's all the notes that I wrote down for that. But basically saying most successful people accomplish more in their morning than most people accomplish in their entire day. And I remember hearing this on another podcast once, saying how basically if you go from making one big decision in your life or your business a month to making a decision a week, even if 50% of them fail, so let's say like on average 4 weeks in a month, that's still 2 actions that succeeded over the 1 action you maybe thought out and made sure to succeed. And so I like this density. So speed is first, just as soon as you decide, take action. And then density, the more actions in a time period than you normally do. And he says, just start with committing to 2 things every day. And actually, my friend Tabitha has motivated me because I've felt no motivation. And maybe I'll talk to you about a little bit of motivation in the book too, as well. I've just been really struggling with motivation. And I realized listening to this book that my motivation always came from external stressors, like a job, appointments, a need to prove people wrong, people pleasing. And now I've worked on those things. I work for myself and I don't have as many appointments, although I'm starting to take clients again. And I've needed to find motivation for myself and realizing that I don't have it and I need to develop it. And I'm embarrassed to admit that because I don't want to admit that I'm not a motivated person. But realizing my entire life, I'm almost 42, my entire life, I have used external stressors as motivations. No wonder I deal with anxiety and depression. No wonder I'm exhausted all the time. I used stressors as motivation. And so now is the time for me to lean in, and I'm sharing this with you to keep me accountable to getting self-motivated. And they say connecting with a greater purpose and finding every action you take every day to have a greater purpose. And while I listen to that, I'm having a really rough day. I've been crying all day long and just like really going to worst case scenario in my head. And I knew I had to take my dogs out for a walk. And I was like, you know what? I get to move my body. How lucky am I? And I just got into like gratitude practice. And I get to take my dogs out and watch them be happy and play. And it really perked me up. And then I got home and I got sad again. But the reality is I like found a purpose in what I was doing and went and did it. And it felt so good. And so my friend Tabitha, as I was saying before, she has challenged me to go for a walk every morning, non-negotiable, and just start there. And so what I've been doing is I get up, I make my morning smoothie, I take my supplements, and then I head out the door like most days. And it feels so good to be able to accomplish this one small thing for myself. So whether you're accomplishing things for your personal life or your professional life, just start with 2 things every morning. So what I'm going to decide to do is that smoothie and that walk are my 2 things for my personal. And now I'm going to make a list of 2 things I'm going to do for my business every morning. And they said the sense of, and like writing down what you're going to do and actually writing down one thing you want to avoid and doing it first is going to give you that sense of accomplishment. And like taking, again, density, taking more actions in a time period than you normally do, and just start with committing to 2 things. And then the third thing he said was having a nightly review, taking 10 minutes every night and looking over the actions you took that day and what you want to accomplish the next. So anything, and he says anything written down becomes way more serious and you're way more likely to accomplish it. And you know, it's funny, I used to do this so much and then I got out of the habit of it. So I'm committing back to this. And it's funny how I've gone through waves in my life where I've gotten really motivated and committed and confident. And I feel like right now I'm in a lull of, I lost my confidence. I started listening to the inner critic too much. I got into like a victim mindset of like, why does stuff always happen to me? And realizing that I need to work on that. And I want to be, there's ebbs and flows in life. Things come and go. I think this author is actually the one that says there's 3 things that are inevitable in life: pain, uncertainty, and taxes. And I, for a long time, felt like I filled my pain quota. I was like, okay, I went through divorce when I was 28. I lost my soulmate dog in 2019. And from 2022 to 2023, I had a 10-year relationship end. And so there's been a lot of things where I'm like, why do I keep experiencing this same pain? And it's so unfair. But the reality is, and the book talks about leaning into adversity, is like you can't avoid these moments in life. And as painful as they are, you're going to feel pain throughout your life. You're going to feel uncertainty. You're going to have to pay taxes, which, I mean, you might have heard my story. The first year I was in business for myself, I went into business for myself, and then I got a divorce and I bought a house on my own, and I took money from my business to buy my house. And then I got I always say $20,000, but I found the actual tax return. It was $17,500 tax bill that I did not have the money for. And I was panicked and stressed. I was, I think 29 or 30. I don't know how old I was. And I was like, how am I going to do this? And talk about external stressor being a motivator. I managed to pay that off that year and save for my taxes the next year, which was huge. I just want to share that with you. So writing things down and I feel like I'm all over the board. My brain is not in its best form today. And I wanted to come record a really raw episode for you because it's been a minute and I think I got to a place where I remember hearing someone say, share from a scar, not a wound. And I'm not getting into what's making me sad today, but I'm just feeling, I'm trying to really not disassociate and not run from what I'm feeling. But also I used to push myself into work to not feel and push myself into every other thing, keep myself busy to not feel. And then there's like a switch flipped. Yeah. And now it's like I have a really hard time getting out of my feelings and into action. So me recording this on my phone, on my voice note, on my couch is me taking speed on needing to record, like deciding that I'm going to record an episode and doing it in less time, even if it's a failure of an episode, trying to take more actions. And then I'm going to do a nightly review tonight of what did I do today? What did I accomplish? What did I get done? What am I going to do tomorrow? And even writing it down for time. So if you're self-employed, and I know there's a lot of hairstylists and beauty professionals that listen to this, you're probably bound by a schedule. But there's things that you have to accomplish in your day that are outside of your hours with your clients. Make a schedule for it. And I'm going to be doing this as well. I used to do it and it worked so well. Even if you don't get everything done, it's more likely that you'll get it done if you write it down. And he says here at the end, the results of any given action is not important. The only thing that matters is you continue the process. Truly, it's not like success or failure. It's whether you move forward. And I really needed to hear that today. I really needed to hear that. And he says, action over thinking any day. Action is an alive thing. Thinking is a dead thing. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I like that. Like action is alive. It's living. Thinking or overthinking is dead. And so take messy, immediate, imperfect action. And by taking action, you'll gain more wisdom, even if it's a failure. Even if it's a failure. So I need you to know you need to learn to lean in to taking messy, immediate, imperfect action quickly and more often, and then reviewing what you did. Don't be afraid to make a wrong decision. You can always recalibrate. You can always go back on course. Even they say, I forget what the saying is, and this probably isn't going to work, but if like a shooting star or an asteroid goes off on 1 degree, it can be a matter of hitting the earth or not. Like 1 degree of, like one small change in course can have a massive different outcome, but you can always correct course and come back. Don't be afraid that your decisions are definitive and your actions are irreparable and that you can't come back from them. And one thing I always have chosen to do is no matter what, success or failure, I have leaned into what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And how can I become a better person, a better business owner, a better human, a better daughter, a better partner, a better friend? How can I help me become a better person? And I really feel like that's a really important perspective and mindset to have. So I just want to leave that with you today for this quick little episode. I'm going through it right now, and it's hard, and it's helpful for me to show up for you and share this. But just know that whatever you're going through right now and whatever you're paralyzed by of what to do or how to move forward, or even maybe feeling helpless in the fact that maybe your decisions aren't the ones that matter, or the ones that are maybe you're on the receiving end of someone else's decisions, just know that you're gonna be okay. Pain is inevitable and it sucks, and I wish it wasn't. I wish I could say, this is how to get rid of dealing with pain in your life. This is how to get rid of dealing with failure. This is your roadmap to guaranteed success, certainty, and always feeling good. But the reality is that I've learned is that it's just not true. So the quicker we can accept pain, accept uncertainty, and lean into it, which I'm still learning myself, the better. Phew. Thanks for hanging out with me in the rawness of today's episode. If nothing else, I hope this reminded you that action doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful, and that even in the mess, you're still moving forward. If you're ready to take this messy, imperfect momentum and finally shift your business from overwhelmed to profitable and sustainable, I've got something for you. Head to dawnbradley.com/free class or tap the link in the show notes to get instant access to my free masterclass. You'll learn how to stop spinning your wheels, simplify your strategy, and build a business that actually supports your life instead of draining it. And don't forget to join me next week for a juicy episode, because why wouldn't it be juicy? But until then, stay weird, stay messy, and stay unapologetically you.